Welcome back to Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. This is Sandy. And I was out looking at my zinnias, seeing if some of them were starting to die back because I want to save a lot of those seeds. And I thought, I'm going to make a flower arrangement today. And I'm going to use a whole bunch of sunflowers, flowers that I planted from seed, flowers that have come back, some herbs, even some weeds. And don't forget those beautiful leaves that you have on berry plants. So first I'm going to pick some mosquito geranium, and I just have this on our back patio just so that the mosquitoes stay away. And I grew a lot of different colored sunflowers in big pots, and so I'm going to cut a whole bunch of those sunflowers. Some of them are yellow, some of them have multicolor, and I've just really enjoyed them through the summer. And I'm going to bring them inside because I want to enjoy them not just outside but inside. Then, of course, there's the zinnias, and that's what gave me the idea of doing the arrangement anyway. So I'm going to try to pick some of the ones that are really good, that haven't started to die back, and I planted a lot of zinnias from seed. They're so easy to grow and so easy to save the seeds. One of my plums from the plum tree above, it actually will turn red when it's all the way ripe, but even now they taste really good. And let's go over to the other part of the zinnias and just cut a whole bunch of them because I want a really big arrangement. So I'm going to do a lot of different colors. And then earlier I did a video and I showed my carrot flowers. And these are carrots that are in the second year. They were left in the ground and they make a seed, a flower, and then a seed. And right next to it I have some asparagus. So I'm going to cut one of those asparagus ferns too, because that's real interesting. I like a lot of texture in my flower arrangements. And there's some grasses by, and don't forget your weeds, because weeds can be really interesting in a flower arrangement. Now what I found is one of my black currants has center runner, and it is growing up through my stairs. And I've seen this all summer, and I just knew I was going to do something with it, either dig it up or do something. So I'm going to cut some of those. And right next to it in a pot is some feverfew. And I really like those. And so I'm going to add that to my flower arrangement too. Now over on the side of the house, underneath the little deck, there's this plant. And I know it looks like a weed. And in fact, all summer long it looks like a weed. But in September, it makes the little flowers, and it's actually a type of aster. And when it gets all the way ready, it will just be ablaze with those little tiny flowers. But they're really great for fillers in flower arrangements. And I like that they're flowering at the end of the season. Now below my bird feeders, I get all kinds of stuff that grows. And they can be really interesting. Look at the color of those seed pods. And so I'm going to cut some of those too. And right by some other stairs, I have catmint. And I like how bushy it gets, so I'm going to cut it way down by where the soil is. These are all in pots right here, which I think I'm going to plant in the ground next year. But they're real interesting, and I like them in flower arrangements. So here's some of the flowers. They're just sitting on the table on the patio. And there's flowers, there's weeds, there's herbs, everything that I could find. But see those seed heads of those weeds? Look at how great they look against those sunflowers. So that's why I picked those. I couldn't find a big enough vase, so I'm just going to use a pitcher because I want to have lots and lots of flowers. Now, an easy way, you have to trim the leaves down. And so you can just take a pruner and you can trim them. Now, some of them, you can just take your hand and just literally just pull against the stalk and pull all those leaves up. And that's really fast and really easy. But the reason why you don't want all those leaves in the water is because they rot and your flowers won't last as long. So I'm just going to start piling things in. Now, I'm not afraid to pile them in and then move them. But I'm going to put a lot of flowers, and then I'm going to start some of that filler. Some of that stuff that's the bulk of it, so that it will just fill that whole picture with just a beautiful arrangement. And so I'm just taking the weeds, the herbs, the flowers, and I'm liking it so far. But I need some more flowers, for sure. I just need more zinnias in there, more sunflowers in there. And if they're too long, you can cut them, you can break them. whatever you want. But these will really last me a good week in that we can enjoy them in our house. And I just am loving the contrast of color, texture, and all the different plants that are in there. So I'm just gonna keep adding them, moving them around, seeing what I like, what I don't like. And it looks good, but I need some more flowers. And I think I'm gonna grab some snapdragons. I have a lot of different colors of snapdragons. We'll pull those bottom leaves off and we'll start putting those in there. And of course, when I'm putting those in, I'm gonna have to move some of the zinnias around too. But see, just make sure you get all those bottom leaves off of there. Then I'll start pulling some of the other flowers because I don't want it all to be just snapdragons right there. I want it to really have a lot of movement. And of course, when I bring it inside, once again, I will probably move it around a little bit because I think I'm going to put it on our little fireplace that we have upstairs. So let's just move a few more flowers around. Now, please be careful that some of those flowers don't start to go in and then outside and they're not actually in the water because it can happen really easily. I'm much more happy with it. It's much fuller. I really get to see a lot of my flowers and it looks good. So today, walk around your yard. Walk in the field that's by you and see all the different flowers, weeds, herbs, berry plants that you might be able to clip a few things off to make a beautiful flower arrangement that you can enjoy throughout the week. Always like, subscribe, share with the world. This is Sandy at Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. And I'll see you next time.